Okay, Bossing Ronald Llamas, s'il vous plaît, let's talk about the issue of charter change. Kasi ganito, actually, I just had a piece come out in Journal of Democracy. So ito yung mga, mga sila Francis Fukuyama, where I argue that actually kung titignan mo si BBM, literally ito yung sinabi ko, no, na, when Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the namesake son of the late dictator, won an emphatic victory in the 2022 elections, many feared that he would follow in the footsteps of his late fathers. Other word, he would build on the authoritarian populist legacy of his immediate predecessor. Rodrigo Duterte oversaw widespread human rights violations with impunity throughout his 6 years reign of office. In fact, I warned in an earlier journal article that he could turn out not to be just the debonair career underachiever, but also an insidious threat to Philippine democracy. And yet, instead, and to the surprise of many, Marcos Jr. has emerged as an unlikely quote-unquote reformer, as well as a tough defender of the Philippine sovereign rights in the South China Sea. But I had a lot of caveat. And one of my biggest caveat was that, okay, he did good on the Lima, good on West Philippine Sea. But where I'm a little bit worried about is what I said towards the end, that I'm still sticking with my initial argument, which is Marcos Jr. may favor switching to a parliamentary system run perhaps by Speaker Romualdez after the 6-year term. Thus, the namesake son of the former dictator may still end up as a potential threat to the Philippine democracy, or at least the existing constitutional order, albeit in a more surreptitious manner, but also to the Dutertes. So now let's talk about this, and of course, this is where I'm very Ronald Llamas. I said, but the Dutertes go gently into the political oblivion, it seems doubtful, right? So this is where I went the Ronald Llamas way. So you see what I did there? Parang point ko is, so far, in fairness, kay BBM, not too bad. But if he pushes for Chacha and all, Ferdinand Marcos, charter change, constitution change, like that doesn't sound very reassuring, right? And it might make it look like all these 2 years of nice reform, whatever, was just to set it up for something else. And that we were all being so focused on the unity team and Duterte's, we're forgetting that behind the scenes, maybe they're pushing for the Chacha. What is your read on this Chacha thing? First of all, do you think there's a good chance that Marcos may pull off a Chacha? And do you think that he has a good reason for that? Because my sense is a parliamentary system would be perfect for him, right? Let's be honest. Martin Romualdez' approval is like what, 32% or something like that? Even lower than when Arroyo was speaker. And then itatapat mo kay Sara, 2028, parang, I don't know, di ba? So maybe a parliamentary system would be best way for him to engineer a happy succession. And in fact, he can remain as a head of state if we have a kind of an old Turkish system or Italian system. Di ba? In Italy, there's a president, symbolic, but technically still head of state. So meron ka pa rin sovereign immunity. You get what I'm saying? So what is your read on this whole Chacha question? The latest iteration of Chacha question. And people
kailangan natin tingnan from two vantage point. Yung isa, yung pagtingin talaga sa itong mga constitutional changes. Dahil ang constitution naman talaga should be a living document na open sa process ng pagbabago at saka changes, di ba? Yun naman ang nature ng constitution. It's a social pact. At ang main argument, ang main essence ng constitution is to protect the minority, no? Protect the minority. Dahil yung mga mahihinang mga sektor, yun ang nangangailangan ng protection. At diyan pumapasok ang constitution, no? Diyan pumapasok ang constitution. Yung mga shift to another system ay importante rin. Because at particular moments, baka yung lumang system ay hindi na uubra, no? Pero kahit sinasabi natin yan, ibang usapin yung paano mo na gagawin yan, no? Dahil it's not simply a shift from an old one to a new one. Ang mahalaga are the requirements, no? Ano ba yung, halimbawa, sang-ayon ako sa federal system, pero you don't federate overnight, or else you will be federating warlordism, inequality, poverty, and all the ills of both systems. No? Yun yung mangyayari. Maganda ang parliamentary system dahil mas naiiwasan yung mga crisis, political crisis, na usually nangyayari sa isang presidential system.
Well, except if you're Bangladesh, Iraq, I mean, I can give you many parliamentary systems which are a mess. I mean, just look at Bangladesh.
Yes.
Sheikh Hasina and the Trapos took over the system.
Yes. Ikalawa ay maganda siya dahil political parties ang nagpapasya, hindi lang mga personalities, hindi. So theoretically, platforms ang pag-uusapan, no? Not personalities, no? No, yun yung mangyayari. But in reality, there are parliamentary systems and there are parliamentary systems, no? Yun yung kaya nga dati nung nagsalita ako sa Senate, yung mga senators are talking about a German model. Natawa ako, no?
Yan na naman
What
tayo.
German model are you talking
Alemanya,
about?
Alemanya.
No, what German model are you talking about? No, iba yung nangyari sa Germany, iba yung kanilang kasaysayan, iba yung kanilang political dynamics, at iba yung kanilang system, no? Yung kanilang parliamentary system, iba yan sa ibang parliamentary system. Kaya hindi siya pwedeng model. Ikalawa, di ba? Lagi natin pinag-uusapan, yung gusto ni Digong na mag-shift to a federal system, tinanong siya kung anong modelo, ang sabi niya, the French system, no? Which is not federal, no? Kaya ibang usapin pa kung ano ba talaga yung actual na gusto mo, maliban dun sa mga principles ng charter change, no? Medyo naiba. At panghuli, yung kondukta, yung political objectives nung nagtutulak ng charter change now, no? Yun yung nagko-create ng hindi lang confusion, hindi lamang division, kundi ng mga contradictions, no? Halimbawa, malinaw naman last year na mayroong push for charter change through a constitutional convention. Diba? Hindi natuloy dahil mismo ang presidente ang sabi ay wala sa timing at hindi siya priority. So, it fizzled out. Ngayon, ang tulak naman ay People's Initiative. Diba?
Which is suspicious, isn't it, right? Isn't it kind of suspicious? Don't you think there's a chance that they, well, I mean, this is the accusation, no? Na parang nire-railroad nila. So let us go to the accusations, no? So interestingly, Ronald, for almost 6 months, you and I have been having R&R, and always our line is, the realignment is medyo pink and BBM, right? We'll discuss even later on. Si Ralph Recto, well, not necessarily pink dilaw, but you know, who knows, maybe more. But we can talk about that separately. But now you have a situation whereby Edsel Lagman, the head of the Liberal Party, simultaneously with Amy Marcos, the super, you know, pro-digong person, both coming out and attacking this People Initiative and making some serious allegations na this is not looking like a people's initiative. This looks like taxpayers' money going to certain ways to persuade certain people to push for this. You know what I'm saying? So how do you see this people in isn't it a circumvention, railroading, questionable, serious, insidious strategy?
Well, una kasi they don't have the luxury of time eh. Kailangan talaga nilang mabilisin yan eh. Paano 3 stages yan eh. Yung una, yung People's Initiative itself. 3% ng minimum 3% ng all congressional districts at 12% ng buong voting population nationwide, which is less than 8 million. No, less than 8 million yan, no? 7 point something, no. Tapos so kailangan nila makuha yan, no. At ang problema, yung People's Initiative na-reject na yan ng panahon ng FBR eh. No, na-reject na yan dahil nga walang implementing rules. No, walang implementing rules. So, nagkaroon ba ng implementing rules since then hanggang ngayon? Wala, no? So,
at wala rin Supreme Court ruling on it. Last time I checked.
Yes. No, so medyo may judicial difficulty.
Gray area, legal gray area.
No? Pag umakyat. No? Ikalawa, yung grupong na-reject, yung pirma, sila ngayon yung active ngayon. Sila yung humaharap dito sa EDSA Puera ad, di ba? Sila ngayon yung
panood pa pala yun.
So parang history repeating itself. Dapat kumuha naman sila ng iba. Wala ba silang ibang makuha na hindi
Robin
tainted?
Hood. Si Robin
no, hindi tainted ng rejection, no? Ngayon, nung isang araw kasi pro-chacha si Robin. Ngayon anti-chacha na siya.
Oo nga. Kasi gets niya
dahil nga rito sa bilihan. Dito sa mga signatures, no? So, the plot thickens, no? At it's not going very well, no? It's not going very well, no? So, yun yung unang stage, yung People's Initiative na maraming problema. Ikalawang stage, yung Congress and Senate voting separately or together, no? Ang alam ko, may moves ngayon, dahil nga may blessing na ni BBM, hindi na kumokontra si Mick Subiri, the Senate President. Ang problema, do they have two-thirds? No? Do they have two-thirds of the votes? No? Duda ako at this point kung meron silang two-thirds. No? Yun yung second stage. At ikatlo, yung plebiscite itself. At lahat ito kailangan mangyari soon. No? No? Yun yung problema dito. Kaya lumalabas yung mga problema ng niraragasa, sinasagasaan, vote buying, no? Vote buying, signature buying, no? Kaya lumalabas yan dahil nga pressured sila ng time. 'Di ba? Pressured sila ng time. Ang kaibahan lang from last year, ito may blessing ng presidente. No? So magagamit mo yung buong machinery, yung buong political capital ng presidente and the resources. At dito naman bumabanat yung mga opposition at saka new opposition. No? Saan ang gagaling yung pera? No? Saan ang gagaling yung pera? Bakit ang daming anecdotal na balita na binibili yung signature through ayuda or through direct signature buying? So, yan, alam mo naman sa Pilipinas, mahirap itago yan. Ngayon, yung bola ay nasa COMELEC. Pero alam din naman natin na yung COMELEC ay hindi naman ito yung katulad sa ibang bansa na very independent. No? Appointive yan eh. Appointive. Kaya very vulnerable yan sa pressures. No? Pero sa ngayon, hawak nila yung bola. Sila yung titingin kung tama ba yung People's Initiative. Sila ba yung titingin kung meron ba talagang signature buying. At sila yung magbibigay ng bendisyon kung pupunta sa second stage. No? Na all's well. So, yan yung nangyayari. At all of that, a lot of moving parts kailangan mangyari at the same time. Medyo, at alam naman natin, hindi ganyan ka-efficient yung ating mga political organizations. No? Hindi pa. Kaya maraming susulpot ng problema. No? Ibang usapin pa kung ano yung gusto ba talagang gawin. Ano ba talaga yung gustong palitan sa Constitution? Paano kung titignan mo yung TV ad, yung EDSA Puera, parang masyado namang pro-foreign, di ba? Ang dating, no? Masyadong parang binebenta mo naman yung bansa sa mga foreigners, no? Parang kulang sa predicate eh. Kulang sa presentation. Parang, ito yung problema ng EDSA, nung EDSA Constitution. Ito yung kailangan natin gawin, no? Kaya i-welcome natin lahat ng mga dayuhan, no? So, medyo kulang yung political narrative.
Walang
No?
argument
Kaya
naman
ngayon,
nila
ang binabanatan,
dahil lang sa restriction sa investment ang dahilan. So tinanggal mo yun, magically everything will be fine. Alam mo naman yung mga simplistic na arguments.
Yun yung. Kaya nga, lalong nagsususpecha yung mga tao, kung ganyan ang sinasabi mo, ano yung nakatago? No? Yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, yan ba ay shift to parliamentary system na yung Prime Minister ang magpapatakbo ng gobyerno at yung Presidente yung magre-represent ng state, no? The state representative and the government leader. Yan ba yung ating pinopropose? Yan ba sa transitory provisions ay ililift ang mga term limits? No? Ililift ba yan? Even the President? So ang daming mga if. No? If. At lahat yan nangyayari at the same time. Lahat yan nangyayari at the same time. Kaya hindi ko sigurado, bibilib ako if they can do all of this, no, at the same time and surpass all the attacks and contradictions, no. Mas delicate din para sa opposition dahil in-invoke kasi yung EDSA eh. So yung mga natitira ng mga support, alam naman natin na may problema yung mga EDSA institutions. Pero you don't throw the baby with the bathwater. No? Kaya nagkaroon ng bagong stimulant ngayon, yung mga pro-EDSA, pro-yellow, pink wave. Para baka magkaroon sila ng bagong buhay, no? At the same time, no, yung mga Duterte na besiege, no, at nalilito kung anong gagawin, baka magkaroon ng political narrative. Ang usapin, almost impossible na magsama yan. 'Di ba? So paano gagawin yung track na yan na hindi magsasama? Baka nga magbanatan pa eh, 'di ba? Yun naman yung delicate.
Yeah, tama ka.
Dun sa nag-oppose. Kaya nga sabi mo kanina, masaya. No, masaya.
Masaya talaga to.
dahil hindi siya one side other side, no? Ang daming sides eh. At saka ang daming angles eh. Ang daming
Tawag
angles.
dyan,
Kaya
hybrid warfare.
dito nagtatribe yung mga political analysts katulad nyo. No, dito kayo naghahanap buhay eh. Sa ganitong klaseng mga kalagayan.
Alam,
Kaya
Ronald,
medyo maganda.
kakasabi mo lang sabi nung isang political analyst, wala naman problema sa team.
No, there are
Everything is
political
good.
analysts and there are political analysts. No? Pero
Ayan,
feeling ko, lahat dito, katulad yung, pati yung mga pseudo-analysts, magta-thrive sa ganitong sitwasyon. No?
Kahit mga
Magta-thrive sila.
non-analyst, nag-analyst.
Meron silang soapbox eh. Meron silang soapbox, no? At kami naman mga heckler lang kami. Hindi naman kami mga professional political analyst.
Tulfo
Nangangasar lang
style
kami.
yan, heckler. Nako, yung heckler naging senador na. Yung kapatid niya maging senador. Ito, last point dito sa Chacha issue. Honestly, are you worried? Do you think we should be worried about this Chacha thing? Sa tingin mo, kailangan mag-ingay lahat, pati DDS and Pinklawan just to make sure. Kasi, di ba, I mean, parang yun lang yung best chance mo na hindi manalo ni Sara, or make sure na yung isang preferred successor mo ay manalo. I'm talking about BBM, right? Like, ang taas ng incentive niya to push for this, di ba? And hindi kaya better after 2025 pag talagang dominate nila yung race? Potentially.
Well, after 2025 nga, lagi ko sinasabi, di ba, Big R, baka magbago yung complexion eh. Dahil ang titignan na ng mga, hindi lang ng mga political pundits, ang titignan na ng mga power centers, sinong leading sa presidential race. No? At dito, medyo lamang. Kung hindi mawasak si Sara, kung hindi siya masama sa ICC case. Ano yung ICC kasi will focus on principles eh. No?
Yun nga.
Focus on, hindi naman lahat isasama sa ICC case eh. They will focus on 2 or 3. No, yung mga principles. Kaya kung hindi mangyayari yan, delikado yung mga Marcoses post-midterm. So,
you're right.
Yung mga Marcos ay iniisip, this has to be resolved now, not after the midterm. Dahil magbabago yung complexion ng political landscape, political loyalties after the midterm.
So you're saying 2024 is the golden year for BBM if you want something.
Yeah,
BBM himself said in 2015 when he was a senator, na if you want to change the constitution, do it early in your term in office. He said something to Digong pa yung advice na eventually the same in 2017.
Yes, no. Kaya, yun, tama yung sabi mo, masaya itong taong ito, no? A lot of things will happen, no?
For the best, God willing. All right, let's go to the last episode, very short one. Thank you so much, Sir Liamas.